Welcome to this edition of Meet City Hall. Joining me here in the studios is our IT Director, James Grizzle. James, thank you for joining us today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, well today we're going to take a look at the IT department. And from what I understand, you guys have your hands in a lot of information across a lot of different area and departments here at City Hall.
Yes, that's correct. We're a department of three, myself, Karen Knight, my communication coordinator, my IT technician, Nathan Todd. We run literally every piece of hardware, software that comes through that is being used in City Hall and in the police department and other buildings that we have, maintenance, parks, and such. So we do have our hands on a lot of tech.
And our conference center across the street as well. So you guys are always very, very busy, it seems like.
Yes, we are. We had to institute a help desk system so we could keep track of all the tickets that come in. And through the ticket system, we were able to, when a problem is resolved, that we have a resolution built into it. So we come across the same type of problem, we're able to resolve it faster.
Yeah, keeping track of those, track of the solution. And like you said, so if you run into it again, hopefully that you minimize the amount of time and information that's needed to get that corrected. Yeah. So tell us about City Hall. I know that you've been on board now here with the city. How many years?
9 years this past August, so it's roughly about 9 and a quarter years.
Oh my goodness, did you know that hours and days too? No, I'm teasing.
No.
Not quite to that level.
Maybe ask me later, I'll have all that.
Okay. Well, what are some of the changes that have come about in the IT department over those last 9+ years?
Oh man, a lot. Mostly hardware change. Well, first things with the hardware changes to bring everything up to except for the new technology for faster speed. We used to have a local bell company for our internet, and so we needed more speed out of it. Then we went to a mail system exchange, so we wouldn't have to rely on again Bell South. So we've increased our network size, our bandwidth size, our equipment capabilities.
You've done quite a bit. I've been here. I've been with you. I think I was hired just right around the same time. I think we were weeks apart, possibly. Yeah. But as I've watched through the IT department, you guys have done a great job of upgrading us, and technology changes so fast. Yeah. How do you stay on top of that?
We're constantly researching, because every 18 months technology does change. It increases, it doubles. So we're out there trying to stay ahead of it by researching, what's the fastest hardware out there that we can bring in, or increase our internet speed by changing vendors. Going from a couple of T1s to dark fiber.
Right. And those are even changing. They're, your pipelines, fiber optic was the thing. What's coming next,
What's coming next?
And not necessarily as a rhetorical question, but how do you stay on top of, doing that? So you say your guys do a lot of research, staying on top of it. How about conferences? Are there IT areas that you guys train in?
We do go to conferences, GMAS, 6-1, where we meet with other city techs and talk shop in regards to what software they're looking at, hardware, and then we exchange ideas, and we come back here and see what we can take what we have and upgrade it.
Okay. So good networking is always a good plus in our business, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I know, looking back over the years for myself, it seemed like when we came on board, everybody kind of had their own tower or computer and their own idea of what was there and what they needed on it. And I've seen, it seems like, the IT department come in and be able to take and catalog every bit of software that's out there, make sure that licenses are in compliance with all of the user ends, and probably create an inventory of all of not just the hardware, but the software, the usage, that type thing as well.
That's correct. We run scans through computers, and when we set them up, we know everybody's standardized in what type of basic software is required on their computer. we did step into one realm of using terminal servers, and it's good to a certain point, but there's just some software it's too heavy or drawn on it, so
doesn't make it compatible then at that point.
Yeah, it slows it down, or causes a bunch of glitches, so we end up having to go back to towers.
Okay.
We have created virtual environments for desktops, so we're able to put a desktop together and then have a virtual template for the basic software and throw that on there, so everybody gets the same thing.
Okay. So they're all standardized was the word I was looking for.
Yes, they're all
glad you used that
standardized.
one. There you go. Also, another thing is just keeping up with the changes in technology in administering our mayor and council. I know when we both came on board years ago, paper was the thing. That was the custom. That was the standard. Times have changed.
Yeah.
You guys have done a great job of moving them into the technology world.
Yes, we've gone from paper to big laptops down to Chromebooks, now to iPads.
All right.
Using applications, or as they say, apps on the iPad to allow them to access the same data before without having to print anything, and they could pick the information up, through the apps. Now, be anywhere. They don't have to wait. They go to the server itself and look at what's being done.
So that makes it more accessible for them in the maybe in their off time, so to speak, because maybe they're at home in the evenings, want to look over the agenda items, the support information, give it a little bit of more detail. They can do that. Yes,
it's not where like we had in the beginning, where they would have to wait for an update or anything from the clerk. Now they go out there on the server and they can sign in and they can see what's currently out there from the last update.
It's a virtual real time.
Yeah, virtual real time, yeah.
Okay, very good. So I know council meetings, you guys are there supporting them during their committee and their the council itself, making sure that technology runs smoothly.
Yes.
And technology, it's a funny thing. It's great when it works.
Oh yeah.
And then when you face those glitches, sometimes they can be more than a headache.
Oh, more than a headache, because it was just working.
Yes.
I've never seen this before. And then you have to sit there and go do a crash through your head trying to troubleshoot it on the fly without using any other tools.
And with what? 40 sets of eyeballs looking at you?
Oh, yeah. That's the worst part of it. No pressure. So they're all staring at you. It's like, come on, hurry up, time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, we experienced that in the realm of the audio visual. And anytime you get that feedback, all heads turn to that soundboard. And, it's like the reality of, yes, it's a quick diagnosis right there on the spot that you've got to work through a ton of things.
Yeah, so there's a problem. What it is, don't know, but got to fix it. Simply put, so you run through all the scenarios real quick. Like,
how about the Wi-Fi that the city offers to the general public? There's some spots in city property areas. Tell us about that. Tell our viewers if they're not aware.
Roughly about 3 years ago, we got a grant from Google to Wi-Fi downtown and Hunter Park and Jesse Davis Park for free Wi-Fi. So we have the equipment upstairs. Any person can come downtown, sign into the Douglasville network, and accept the agreement clause from Google, will have free access to the internet. We linked the two parks, Jesse Davis and Hunter Park, using microwave links. So it's line of sight, so that they'll have the same speed there at the park as they would have here downtown. We cover roughly 3, maybe 4 blocks, core downtown area from the plaza.
Area.
Yeah. The Wi-Fi that we have built into the conference center is open Wi-Fi as well. So when we have our vendors coming in to do their shows and such, we'll have 300-400 people come in there, and each person will have 1, maybe 2 devices. So now you have 600 devices coming across your Wi-Fi, but yet we're able to handle that with the amount of speed that we have built into it.
All right. So it sounds like we've done a great job of bringing the city and its IT needs and not just for us here, but to the community as well, offering that as a free service. We did mention free, right?
Yes, it is free.
Okay, we did mention the free word. Where do you see some of the things? Does IT have some goals or visions on the horizon?
Yeah, increase the Wi-Fi capabilities for inside the infrastructure of City Hall and the supported buildings around. So you're able to go from one point to the other on the secure network that we provide for city employees without having to, drop a signal anywhere. So you'll always have connectivity at all times. And like I said, the other thing is virtualizing desktops and making it push-out rollouts being easier to manage and faster.
Okay. And I know there were two other points that we were talking about pre-camera roll. You had talked about the fact that, first of all, the security of the site. That's always a top priority or a top question of people. The security of people coming to the city's website, doing business there, the security of the information that we work with daily. How do you want to address that? How would you tell us the security of the website and the intranet and the...
We have multiple layers of security.
Now, don't give away our secrets, though.
Not going to give away, but we have
Okay.
both hardware and software security levels, encryptions between people, and setting up encryptions from sending emails out to others and back again. So we're always looking at security. That's the biggest thing with me is the security. And anything I find out new, I go tell my staff, say, hey guys, I heard about this product here, and then we'll look into it. And so we're constantly maintaining, keeping a lookout on better security at all times. So we've been doing quite well with that.
Very successful.
Yeah, very successful.
Well, there's also another part, as you were talking there too, that your department in IT also handles the radio communications as well. Karen Knight handles that. You also do the support on our phone systems, all of our cell phone usage, and how that, we have it set up that if you're ringing my desk, I'm not there, it now rolls to my phone, so wherever I am virtually out in the field, you can find me, and I should answer, right?
Right. You cannot come back and say, well, I didn't get your call. You did.
Yeah.
It'd be very, very rare circumstances that you could actually, but not get it. But then again, I'll look at you and say, well, she's got to prove this one to me.
Right.
But yeah, we do handle the radio communication in the towers, and we do the handheld radio devices for the police department, and we're constantly getting upgrades, and the weather sirens or the emergency sirens that we have. I have 18 of those, and we keep those maintained, and we share the responsibilities on triggering them with weather with 911 and the city police. So if something comes through, one of the two groups will sound the alarm. So we keep tabs on maintenance on those as well.
Okay. And leading right into the second thought of what we had talked pre-camera or pre-show was the fact of disaster recovery. You guys have been working a very extensive feature or setup to our whole internal system for the information that we retain on a daily basis. Give us a little bit, there again, not too much detail. You don't want any hackers or anything like that, but give us a little bit of insight on what you've set up there.
We've increased storage and hardware capabilities on our side, and we're duplicating the same equipment at the police offsite.
Yeah.
And so what we have here will be a mirror image at this second location. So we have a problem here. We're able to roll everything over, and in order to make that successful, part of that was that we put dark fiber between us and our second location. So, and with that one location, it has its own way of getting to the internet, and if it gets cut off, it gets rerouted.
There you go.
And if we get cut off on our side, and we get rerouted, so there's virtually no way for us to be down at any point in time. And so that was the biggest thing that we did was recently was putting the the dark fiber between the two places, and it's really fast.
Good. And that's critical for the case of disaster recovery, any kind of natural disaster. Hopefully we won't ever experience anything terroristic. But that's very important, keeping that connectivity so that the first responders, the emergency, and the operations of City Hall are able to be maintained.
Yeah, between the two locations right now, we are in the process of looking at merging two sets of systems of communications into one. And when we do that, it'll reduce the cost by 50%, especially on the licenses.
Oh, wow.
Hardware is expensive, but they get you on the licenses.
On the licensing, yes.
So now we're going to be able to merge them together and have one unit to represent two places, so it cuts, we'll cut some cost out.
Cost factor. Well, and that's a good thing as we're coming up on budget season once again, too. So, but sounds like the IT team, like I said at the beginning, a very busy team.
Yes, we are. Sometimes we're moving so fast we almost see an aftershadow of ourselves.
Okay. Light speed.
Light speed.
Yeah. Well, James, thank you so much. Is there anything else that you wanted to kind of throw out there, IT-wise? I know you kind of mentioned something about coax cable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When we first put this place together, before my time, it was 20 years ago, and the great AS400s, coax cables ran through this wall. So in the process of moving things over from coax cable into Ethernet realm, there was so much coax cable in the walls, they decided, well, it costs too much to remove, so we're going to just leave it. So the joke is that if a tornado were hit City Hall directly, it'll be the only building staying in one place because all the coax cable will be holding it together. So
when the tornado sirens sound, everybody's running to City Hall.
This would probably be the best place to go.
All right. All right, well, James, I like to always throw in the ability for a question at the end of the show if we haven't gotten it in there, but can you share something interesting or exciting about yourself that maybe people might not know? And if you can't think of something, I have something that I could kind of show out based on how I've grown to know you over the years.
Okay.
Well,
go ahead.
So you always have this thing with voices.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to give our audience a kind of a take of that?
Well, people go around and make duplicate voices of certain characters, and then look at them and say, "You're hearing voices, aren't you?" So it goes. My range is from, "Hi, I'm here to talk to you about my IT department," but nobody would take you seriously when you answer a phone using that voice, let alone, "Hi, we're the IT department." So I do have a range, and I do get some strange looks, especially when I run to somebody brings their kid up here and do that, and they like, "Is that coming out of you?"
Aren't you an adult? Yeah.
And I tell them it was too much Saturday morning cartoons as a youth.
Well, what else did we do with our Saturday mornings, right?
Yeah, cut grass.
There you go. Well, James, thank you for being with us and sharing yourself, your department, and everything that the IT department does here at City Hall.
You're welcome.
All righty. Thank you. And to you, our viewing audience, thank you for joining us on this edition of Meet City Hall.